All right, so yesterday I was sitting here going through the news and I found this article entitled Walmart Exec Drops Harsh Truth About Why You Might Not Get Hired. The reality is, this company thinks that people want to work. And she says right here that she doesn't want Debbie Downer applying to Walmart. She wants highly motivated people to show up at work with a can do attitude. And she goes on to say nobody wants to hire Debbie Downer. She then said that they are constantly negative. You know, you're going to show up and they're going to be bring the problem. Let's see. Person who speaks bad or depressing. Let's see. On the flip side, Morris offered what she called a green flag. Another green flag is when you're open to opportunity and they put their hands up to take on more. Or they bring a problem with a remedy or request help in a timely manner as opposed to the house is on fire. Well, you guys know that one of the main causes of depression in our society is Walmart. And every job that's Walmart, they're not real jobs. They're fakey jobs, pretending to be real jobs. Let's put it this way. If you qualify for food stamps, you're not at a real job. If you work at McDonald's like myself, you're not at a real job. In fact, yesterday I was having a conversation with one of my coworkers at McDonald's, and he told me he got written up recently because someone complained about him. I've heard that about him. I've heard that about my other coworker. I've heard it about my other coworker. I have a total of 6 coworkers. 4 out of 6 coworkers have had complaints launched at them, write-ups, and HR being involved. What do all these people have in common? They're completely burnt out. Not a little burnt, but charred all the way around. There's too much work. There's not enough people. And working at McDonald's has basically become a merc march. That's really what it comes down to. Is everyone that I work with is heading out the door. Not because they're not good at their jobs, not because we haven't worked there for years and years and years, but simply the fact that it's too much work. These people are systematically being erased. Like my coworker who got fired 3 months ago. It wasn't that he couldn't do his job. It's just that they just pushed him and pushed him into the furnace. And yesterday someone asked me this question. After I read this Walmart article, I was just scratching my head, and then I look in my comments and someone asked, well, Neil Steen, why are there so many people over 60 working in fast food and retail? They can't retire. Every time I see that 80-year-old man pushing shopping carts at the Kroger's, I ask myself, why would society do that to someone that's already spent 60 years in the workforce? Why does this little old man have to spend his golden years pushing shopping carts in 110-degree weather at the grocery store? It's the very nature of our society. It's cruel, disgusting, despicable nature of Evil Corp to not offer people anything other than gig work. There are no pensions. There is no retirement. If you're making minimum wage like I am right now, there's nothing there. Eventually, someone's going to walk around and just get a whiff of something a little off. And it's going to be your corpse sitting at a desk looking at a screen forever. All right, let's get into our opening monologue. They say the customer's always right, but apparently the employee has to always be happy too. According to a Walmart top HR executive, you might not get hired if you bring bad vibes into the interview. Not because you're late, underqualified, or inexperienced, but because you seem a little too human in the year 2025. Depression isn't just a struggle, it's a disqualifier. Nearly every single person I know that's working right now doesn't make enough money. In fact, I would say that 100% of the people that I know that live at my level don't make enough money. My friend has been messaging me for the last 2 hours. Since the second she woke up, she's been messaging me about how depressed she is. Not because there's anything wrong necessarily in her life, but the simple fact that there's nothing for regular people to hold on to. Most of you have nearly zero friends. You're not close to your family. You have nothing to hold on to, and you still have to go to your crummy job every single day. Whether or not I like it, I have to get up every morning and go work at McDonald's. And it's it's not the ideal situation for most Americans is to go work for unlivable wages. It makes us sad. It makes us come home and question why we have to power down at night and then get up and go back and work at McDonald's. Or I'll spend the whole day making crappy hamburgers that don't look anything like the picture, have customers judge me based on my employment, and have a sadistic manager ask me why I'm not smiling 8 hours a day. You practically have to just draw on your smile, Joker style, because that's what they expect. They don't want a customer to walk in and see a depressed middle-aged man making fries. That's not the idea. Yesterday, when I stopped in at Wendy's on my way to McDonald's, ironically, there was like, he had to be 70 or 80-year-old Hispanic man working the drive-through window. He looked as miserable as humanly possible. It seemed like the very uniform was torturing him because he got into an age where he thought he wasn't going to have to work anymore, and yet there he was. Can you imagine being the person that had to hire that old man? Seeing 30-year-olds or 40-year-olds working cash registers at Walmart is despicable. And there are certain people who will never be able to outgrow the minimum wage, including myself. We'll continue to work in this industry until the day they put us inside the box. All right, let's get into talking point number one. Most retail jobs don't just require you to work hard, they require you to look happy doing it. Companies like Walmart screen out candidates who seem negative, even if they're qualified, replacing emotional authenticity with performative cheerfulness. It's less about your ability and more about your ability to fake wellness. This is the feeling I get in the pit of my stomach every week when they send out the employee wellness email. You read through it, that life is about feeling good through yoga, a cozy recipe for a soup, or taking time to meditate. And you stop and you think about it, and you talk to a person who got a 30-cent raise last year. 30 cents. And they make you jump through hoops for it. In fact, yesterday they were asking people to set more goals for yourself. And you're like, what do you mean? You want me to make more fries? Do you want me to clean the floors harder? Do you want me to come in early and stay late while I'm clocked out? I don't understand these corporations. They know that they're paying people nothing, that you slave away all day for next to nothing. Work hasn't been worth it in decades. But yet here we are doing the song and dance every single day while you serve fries. You know you're humiliated. You know the indignity of work. In fact, my coworker yesterday told me that when he got his 30-cent raise last year, it disqualified him from Medicaid. And now he has super crappy company insurance. And he's just like, why did they do that to me? Why did they take away my Medicaid and make me pay for something that's completely worthless? And I was just like, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, this man's over 50. This man at his age has spent 35 years of his life working and he doesn't qualify for Medicaid. That's super depressing in and of itself. Faking wellness at work is depressing as hell. You show up at work, you know there's too much work. You look around, there's no people to do the work. And again, you put your head down and you think to yourself, do they really expect me to not show up and feel depressed under these circumstances? No. It's got to be baked right into the system as humiliation, degradation, and feeling like you're going nowhere. Talking point number 2. You're expected to smile through burnout, hide your financial desperation, and pretend your soul isn't crushed. Being solution oriented sounds noble, but in practice, it punishes honest people who admit they're struggling, especially those dealing with mental health challenges. Depression isn't disqualifying, pretending it doesn't exist is. Everything about the modern workplace is toxic positivity. Whether it's your Happy Meal toy at the end of the week, it's seeing people that you've known for a while lose their jobs after being completely loyal for 10 years. Seeing the people coming and going, seeing the names pop up of people that no longer work there, people moving away, people tuning out. I think that's the hardest thing is you see people who are actively just tuning out of work. They show up at work, but they're not interested. They're thinking about how they're going to feed their kids, about whether or not the job interview that they went to already is going to hire them. Every Gen Z that I've had working for me for the past 4 years is always looking for another job. In fact, this week he came in and told me he applied somewhere else. And I was just like, the other day he came in and told me he applied to several jobs and all of them ghosted him. And you're just kind of like, okay. Everyone's either looking for a better job or is tuned out at their current job. Because whether you're working at McMiserable or you're working at the uh, at the at the King of Misery, Burger King, it's all the same. It's all the same pay. It's all the same problems. You're just going somewhere else to hear someone else complain about how they can't afford to feed their kids. Or asking themselves, why did I have children when I can't afford to feed myself? That's the big problem in a society where we have a declining population of young people. Most people look at the situation and say, you know what, I have to eat ramen every day. Even Susie Rottencrotch, who would be the biggest Rottencrotch of your neighborhood, thinks twice about letting Johnny Sixpack finish up inside of her because she knows she can't afford it. She knows that Johnny Sixpack, the second he unloads and she becomes full of life, that she'll never see him again because that's what Johnny Sixpack does. He goes around filling up Susie's for the sake of filling them up. But when it comes time to take care of what he's done, he's nowhere to be seen. Johnny Sixpack moves from town to town to town looking for Susie Rottencrotch. And every town has a Taco Bell where Susie can hang out back. All right, talking point number 3. Walmart and companies like it want workers who will say yes without asking why. Expressing discontent, stress, or real life problems labels you as a threat to morale. In their eyes, it's better to hire someone obedient and completely fake than someone real and critical. That's how the system stays broken and quiet. Remember, no company wants you staying there longer than 6 months. 3 to 6 months is the ideal time range. You're not going to get promoted, you're not going to get a raise, and they'll use you up and then toss you out. Remember, we live in a society where workers are plug and play. They plug you in, they want you to be able to do the job like you've been doing the job for 20 years. They want you to understand there's nothing here for you. There's no career. We live in an America where there are no careers anymore. No one I work with believes that anything good is going to happen other than someday you're going to get that call from HR and they're going to tell you you don't work here anymore. That's how every person in my group feels. It's just a matter of time. All you have to do is hit the right buttons, and HR will come down, just like the Grim Reaper, and harvest your soul. And you'll be out there, unemployed, looking for your next evil corp. Because at Pound Town, you don't get to do the pounding. Pound Town pounds you. That's all there is to it. Fleece is always at the ready, and your instant reaction to getting even the slightest bit of feeling that fleece is coming is you assume the position. Two hands on the desk, back arches over slightly, and you wait for the probe. And it ain't going to be the easy way. When it comes to these situations, Fleece knows what he wants. Pound Town is about pounding. It's not about Hug Town. It's about Pound Town. No one's going to give you a gentle hug and tell you you're doing great. It's going to be Pound Town. And maybe Fleece brings a friend. Maybe he's decided that he's going to bring Fleece and Fleece. And now you gotta understand that you didn't like it before. You're gonna like it even less now. But what are you supposed to do? You need a job. You know you got to put on your chicken costume every single day. And you've got to go to a place that you don't like. And if you say to me, oh, well, Millennial Steam, why don't you just go to a different Pound Town? Do you not understand what Pound Town means? Pound Town. There's no escaping Pound Town. Whether you're at Pound Town number 1, 2, 3, or 4, it's all the same. No matter where you go in your life, you're going to have to get accustomed to assuming the position. So when your tighty whities hit your ankles, you know you wish you had a little chicken grease to rub between your cheeks, because it's not going to be easy. It's not going to last a few seconds. Fleece likes taking his time. He likes to pull your hair. He likes to make certain that you understand that there's no easy way here. It's just Pound Town, 8 hours a day. That's all it is. It's relentless. It never stops. And it's always huge. All right, let's get into our closing monologue. So if you've been wondering why you keep getting ghosted after interviews, maybe it's not your resume. Maybe it's your honesty. Corporations don't want workers. They want walking antidepressants in uniform. But faking joy to survive poverty isn't resilience. It's exploitation with a smile. And the more we normalize that, the more we forget how much we deserve to feel real. Remember, if there's one thing that Fleece really likes about the pros, is when they smile and they have white teeth. So remember, make certain that when you wake up in the morning, you take care of your personal hygiene. You wash underneath both your arms, you brush your teeth, because the last thing that Fleece wants from you is for you to assume the position and you be dirty, your teeth to be yellow. He wants you to get dressed up for him. He wants you to show up at work with your hair combed, clean clothes, pearly white teeth, because he wants you to turn around and smile at him when he's working back there in Pound Town. He doesn't want to look at your yellow teeth. He doesn't want to tell you you stink. He wants you to get dolled up. He wants you to put on that bright red lipstick and pretend that you like it. Pretend that it's good. Pretend that you're not dying inside every minute that you're working at the Fryolator. When you put on your McDonald's hat every morning and you get your Mc paycheck every Friday afternoon, he wants you to smile when you look at your paycheck and you wonder, what the hell is that? You look down at your paycheck and you're like, wait a minute, didn't I just work 40 hours? What is this? What is it? It's called the hard way. Every time you look at your paycheck, it's the hard way. And if that doesn't make you depressed enough, remember, Pound Town opens at 8 on Monday morning. And you'll be there with your little hat and your name tag that says loser on it. And you'll look around at the other people and you'll see their fake smiles. And you know that every single person you work with has a meeting with Fleece that day. And every single person needs to smile. Because if you're not smiling, you're not loving it.